Hello everyone. So today I wanted to paint my phone case. So the first thing I have to do is sand it. And through the power of editing magic, it's sanded. So then I went ahead and put gesso on it. Way too much gesso. I definitely poured too much there. I was able to salvage all the extra though. But yeah, I went a little overboard. So then I went ahead with my folk art black matte because that is the black paint I have. I've been trying to use that because I bought a pretty big container of it and I want to use it. And I used that for the base coat. So once it was good and dry, I grabbed my colors, which are brilliant blue and deep violet. I also put graphite over top the black just to give it some more sparkle because I was going to blend it in with that. So while the graphite color was still wet, I went ahead with the purple that I did put a little bit of graphite in as well and just started blending it in. And this was one of those times where I was like, I just got to trust the process, do multiple layers, because at first it was just not turning out how I wanted it to look. So then I went ahead and started on the blue at the top, and I absolutely love this color and this color combo. I'm actually leaning towards changing my branding to this color combination. I just am trying to find the right, like, blue and purple. Anyway, not about that. It's about the painting. So yeah, the first layer was pretty ugly. I knew it needed more layers. I just had to get past the ugly phase. So once that was dry, I went ahead and grabbed a, like, kind of a broader brush and went in with the second layer, and the second layer looked so much better. That blue just really popped. I also mixed a little bit of the blue and the purple together so that I could get a kind of transitional color in the blend to just kind of make it a little more seamless. And once I got the gradient the way I wanted it to, I cleaned up a little bit of the case and sprayed it with this satin varnish. Now I did this because I am going to be adding a design to it. So while it was drying, I grabbed my iPad and kind of just sketched out a design. I went with this bat theme. I knew I kind of wanted to do bats, but I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. So I went with that design that you saw, and I grabbed my Poscas and got to work. So the first thing I did was I wanted to add stars. So I did that, like, flicking the paintbrush kind of method to just kind of get random stars everywhere. And then I took my white Posca and just drew in a couple of big stars. And when the stars were dry, I decided to start on the moon. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the moon in white or silver, but since the stars were white, I wanted it to not, like, blend in with the stars. So I went with silver, and I think silver was definitely the right choice. Now I realized the silver was going to need multiple coats. So I went ahead and started on the bats at the very bottom and let the moon dry, and then when the moon dried, I was gonna do another layer on that and then do more bats. So I started on the bats, and that's when I realized I think I should have went with a slightly lighter purple, because as the bats dried, they got more matte and lighter. So they weren't this, like, vibrant black. They were definitely more on a, like, matte black side, which isn't a bad thing. I think in the end it still looked really good, but it wasn't the, just like the bright dark black I was going for. Now in Procreate, because this was just a sketch, I just copied and pasted the same bat over and over again, changing the size. But on the phone, I actually wanted to change up, the wings a little bit, make them more lively, I guess, just like not copy and pasted. Now some of them are like same bat syndrome, but I think some of these turned out so cute, especially like the little teeny tiny bats that I did at the very top. So I went with this design because it it's one of those designs that your eyes just kind of flow with it, whether it's starting at the bottom going up or starting at the top and going down. And oh, this is the part I messed up on the bat. I put it too close to this other one, and the wings were going to overlap, and it would have looked really bad. So I tried my best to clean it up, and I am so glad that I did a varnish over top of the paint, because cleaning it up was so much easier. I like, you couldn't even tell that I had made that giant mistake. So yeah, I went ahead and just kept on going with the bats, and I was really worried because I don't know about anybody else, but I have been having a terrible time with Poscas. They just pull. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, usually I also tend to get cracks in them. This time I'm really glad I did not. I did not get a single crack in the paint, but this time I also didn't have any pools of paint appear on the phone case. But when I was doing some like test swatches of the pens just to make sure that they weren't like dried up or anything, it just pooled so much, and I don't understand why it's doing that. And like, I was shaking them like crazy too. So if you have that happen, please let me know. And if you know how to fix it, please let me know, because like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I went in with the second coat of the silver, and I was really careful because I know that Posca and multiple coats don't always mix, but it went very well. And I started on some bats while I let that dry, because I was also going to add a little bit of texture to the moon, and I didn't want it to be wet and destroy all this progress that I had made. So for the texture, I just took some graphite and lightened it up and just kind of went to town. And I apparently forgot to film it, so this is what it looks like. I think what happened is that sometimes I press pause instead of stop on the recordings, and I went to hit record and ended up hitting stop instead. Yeah, so I really thought I was recording that, but no big deal. I think the texture turned out really nice. And when that was dry, I started on the teeny tiny bats that were flying out of the phone or the camera area. And when that was done, I once again grabbed the spray varnish and sprayed it. I did not want all that work to be ruined. So after it was all dry, I put the soft part of the case back in, and here is how it looks. I love it so much. I think it's so pretty. I love that gradient. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!